The stage is set for upsets. We wondered before the opening week of October how many would happen. Well, a whole freaking lot. In the aftermath of that chaotic slate, Week 7 is loaded with nationally impactful games. The headliner is between second-ranked Ohio State and number 3 Oregon. Two more contests feature a pair of top 25 teams, and plenty of others are on the road. Hey there, welcome everybody to the Week 7 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. I am your host, Anthony Florio. For right now, joined by Michael Bullock. I can confirm that good old MF Michael Fletcher is running a little bit late, so he asked us to start the show without him, and we will catch him up on what he missed when he comes in. Don't worry, MF will be here. He's just running a little bit late right now. So as soon as MF comes in, we'll pause the action and we'll catch him up on what he missed before we get back on track. So with that being said, we have another 17-game slate this week. 1 Friday night game, 16 Saturday games. This in all honesty, is the most loaded week of college football we've had yet. I could consider this a smorgasbord Saturday if you really think about it. But we do have a Friday night game to get into, and without any further ado, let's dive right on into our first action of week number 7. And this game will take place tomorrow night at 10:30 over on ESPN. It'll feature the now number 16 Utah Utes on the road against the Arizona State Sun Devils from Mountain America Stadium in Tempe, Arizona, formerly Sun Devil Stadium. And on the call for this game for ESPN, it'll be Anish Shroff, Andre Ware, and I believe Paul Carcaterra is their sideline reporter. Utah is opening up as a 5.5-point favorite. And of course, when it comes to a Utah game, it's always the same story. Same old story, same old song and dance. The status of Cam Rising. Now, the reports are stating that Cam Rising will start against Arizona State. And according to Brett McMurphy, Utah quarterback Cam Rising will start tomorrow at Arizona State. Rising hasn't played since September 7th against Baylor when he injured the ring finger on his throwing hand requiring stitches, and he's missed his last 3 games. So, had he not played, Utah's defense has plenty of quality and could propel the team, but Arizona State has steadily improved this season. But since Cam Rising is going to be playing in this game, I am going to go with Utah to win this game. It would have been Arizona State if he didn't play. But since Cam Rising is reportedly going to play, I will go with Utah to win. My final score is going to be 23-16. Utah defeats Arizona State tomorrow night. So not much more to say on that. So Michael Bullock, come on in. Week 7 of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. And we started off number 16 Utah at Arizona State tomorrow night to kick off the action.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, with Cam Rising playing, I think that I got to go with the Utes to win this one. I mean, if he wasn't playing, then I probably would be concerned, and maybe there would be an upset. But with Rising playing, I'm going to go with the Utah Utes to win it. So nothing more for me to say. So let's move on to the Saturday slate of games.
All righty. And I believe, let's see, let me check we have 3 games in the 12 noon window to look forward to. So let's start off our 12 noon slate of games with the number 7 Alabama Crimson Tide back at home at Nick Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, and they're going to be welcoming the South Carolina Gamecocks. This game will be over on ABC, and on the call for this game, it will be none other than the voice of Monday Night Raw, Mr. Joe Tessitore, alongside of yet again Jordan Rogers. Once again, is in for Jesse Palmer. And I don't know if it'll be Katie George on their sidelines or if it'll be Stormy Buonantony like we saw last week, but that's who will be on the call for it. And Alabama opening up as a 21.5-point favorite. Oh, Bullock. I mean, Alabama, I'm going to tell you right now, South Carolina, good luck, because these Crimson Tide, they are going to be beyond pissed off. They're going to be coming with the tiki torches and the pitchforks after they got embarrassed by Vanderbilt in the shocker of Week 6.
Yeah, there was no doubt about it. Yeah, South Carolina, it's going to be a long afternoon for them because, like you said, Alabama's going to be looking. They're pissed off. They're going to be coming with the tiki torches, and I don't think they're going to show any mercy towards South Carolina. So there's really nothing more for me except for me to say is roll Tide roll, baby. So it's all Alabama, and of course, Florio. Before we move on to you, I mean, as we just came on the air, I'm sure you are one happy man right now.
I absolutely am, and that's one of the reasons why I delayed the start of this show, because I was invested in it. And yes, breaking news from the world of Major League Baseball: for the second time in 3 years, my New York Yankees are heading back to the American League Championship Series. Yes, I'm happy. I'm also relieved, because those Royals, they did not go quietly. Let me tell you, they made a lot of noise. But congratulations to the Royals on a great season. They have nothing to be ashamed of. And I'm going to tell you something. Bobby Witt Jr., remember that name. Bobby Witt Jr. is going to be a star for years and years to come. I am very high on that young man, really.
And now we got both New York teams in the league championship series.
This is true. The Mets.
So
the Mets will start off. Mets will start off on Sunday night, as announced today. The National League Championship Series, game 1 of that will be on Sunday night, and that will be in either Los Angeles or San Diego, because the Padres and the Dodgers, they have a winner-take-all game 5 to be played tomorrow night. And also earlier this evening, the Cleveland Guardians staved off elimination as they knocked off the Detroit Tigers 5-4. Game 5 of that series will be on Saturday night, and the winner of that series will face the Yankees in the American League Championship Series. Game 1 of that will be on Monday night at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, so the thing is, we could be one step closer to maybe a potential another Subway Series World Series.
It's been almost a quarter century since we saw it.
Yep, it was 2000 when we got it.
Absolutely. And it was a 5-game series win for the Yankees, and that was when they won their 3rd consecutive World Series championship.
Or as the late Gorilla Monsoon would say, they three-peated.
Yes, they did indeed three-peat. Yes, indeed. So, yes, very exciting time for me right now, and the Yankees will definitely have some momentum going into that series, as by the time we get to Monday night, game 1, they'll have 3 days. They'll be rested for 3 days, whereas the Guardian Tiger winner is only going to have 1 day of rest. So we'll see if that's key. We'll see if that ends up being a factor. But nonetheless, congratulations to my Yankees. ALCS bound, 4th time in the last 8 years, but it's really the 2nd in the last 3. And the best part is we do not have to deal with the Houston Astros. Hallelujah. So, but regardless of who comes out of that Detroit-Cleveland game, it's not going to be easy either way. So, but we'll be ready. We'll be ready. So hopefully they'll do something they haven't done in 15 years, and that's go to the World Series. So, oh boy. So 1 series down, 2 more to go, hopefully. All right. So getting back to the college football here. All right. Now my thoughts on South Carolina and Alabama. Losing to Vanderbilt seemed unconscionable. Following that up with a home setback to South Carolina, right after Ole Miss went to Columbia and beat the Gamecocks by 24 points. Crazy thought, but not going to happen. So, roll Tide roll. Bama's going to get back on track. This is going to be a get-right game for them after that embarrassing loss to Vanderbilt. And in all honesty, they took them lightly. There's no doubt about it. So, they thought they were going to smash them, and, They obviously were riding high after that monumental win over Georgia a couple weeks ago, but yeah, it's going to be Bama here. So roll Tide, roll, baby. 42-17. I got Bama all over South Carolina. All right, next up in our 12 noon window, we will have the number 10, the now number back in the top 10. It's been a minute since we've seen these guys in the top 10. The Clemson Tigers. Clemson is number 10, and they're going to be going on the road against the Wake Forest Demon Deacons from a Legacy Federal Credit Union Stadium in Winston-Salem. And on the call for that game, it will be Dave Patch along with Dusty Dvoracek. And the spread favors Clemson. Clemson opening up as a 20.5-point favorite. 20.5 for Clemson. Wake Forest stopped a 3-game slide with a win at North Carolina State last week. The reward is taking on a defense-driven Clemson team that has found its stride offensively, notching at least 6.6 yards of play in 4 straight games. This Clemson should win this one going away. I'm going to say 38-17, Clemson all over Wake Forest. Not much more for me to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I got the Clemson Tigers winning this one as well. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So let's move on.
And we move on to our third and final 12 noon game before we get to a loaded 3:30 slate of games. The now number 21 Missouri Tigers. They're still in the top 25. Last week, you recall, they were number 9. But after they got smashed by A&M last week, they dropped all the way down to 21. So the number 21 Missouri Tigers will be on the road against, how about this, the UMass Minutemen from Warren McGurk Alumni Stadium in Amherst. And this game can be found over on ESPN2. And on the call for that game will be Roy Philpott and Sam Acho. And I have Missouri opening up as a 27.5-point favorite. All right, we got MF in. So Bullock, we're gonna put the brakes on this one. So MF, come on in. We're gonna get you caught up here. You didn't miss many. You didn't miss too many. I believe we've only done 3 games so far, so not too bad. So all right, so let's get MF caught up here. So MF, first game tomorrow night at 10:30 on ESPN. Number 16 Utah on the road against Arizona State, and the report is going around that Utah's quarterback Cam Rising is actually going to play.
And that's going to be a big help for them, because if that's the case, then I definitely have Utah winning that game. Nothing more to add. Anthony, next game.
All right. We got the number 7 Alabama Crimson Tide back at home against the South Carolina Gamecocks Saturday at noon on ABC. Bama, I forgot to mention, Utah is a 5.5-point favorite here. Bama opening up as a 21.5-point favorite, and you know they're going to be hopping mad after they got embarrassed by Vandy of all teams. Yeesh.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind about this one. This is going to be a roll tide victory for Alabama. They're getting taken to the woodshed. Remember Dee Woodson and her famous checkered apron? That's exactly what's been happening to Alabama for the last week. They've been taking it to the teeth, as they say, by a lot of people in college football, basically poking fun at them, saying how on earth could you lose to Vanderbilt when Vanderbilt is not even that good. And I'm just gonna say here, yes, if you want to talk about most embarrassing loss of the season, that's it, no doubt in my mind. So yeah, I'm totally in an agreement here. I got Alabama winning the game. So yeah.
Okay, the next noon game, Clemson back in the top 10. Clemson's number 10. They're on the road against Wake Forest, and they're opening up as a 20.5-point favorite.
And I'm going to go with Clemson as well. I think they finally figured it out. I think they finally found their mojo, I guess you could say it is. And I got Clemson winning the game. So, Anthony, it's yours.
All right, MF, I think you're all caught up now. So, yes, you're all caught up. So, all right. So with that being said, we're gonna reset. We're gonna reset the rotation here. I'll start off on our next game, our final 12 noon game. There's only 3 of them, and I'll reset it again. The now number 21 Missouri Tigers on the road against the UMass Minutemen. And this game will be live. It'll be at UMass from Warren McGurk Alumni Stadium in Amherst, Mass. This game will be over on ESPN2. Roy Philpott and Sam Acho will be on the call. And Missouri opening up as a 27.5-point favorite. So, all right, we're all caught up. So let's get back at it here. After an embarrassing loss at Texas A&M, Missouri has an ideal chance to right the proverbial ship against a reeling UMass team. So they are absolutely going to, I think they're going to absolutely do just that. 45-14, Missouri all over UMass. So not much more to say. MF, Missouri, they got smashed, and I mean smashed, by Texas A&M in College Station last week. And come Saturday, they're going to be taking it out on those UMass Minutemen in Amherst.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they're going to be in a very angry mood as well. You talked about how bad it was, especially for them to lose the way that they did. This time around, I'm thinking the same thing too. So no doubts in my mind. I think it's going to be it's gonna happen. So yeah, there's really nothing more to add. So give me Missouri to win, and Michael Bullock, is yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Missouri as well to win this game. Yeah, there's really nothing more to add to it. So let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the 3:30 games.
And what a way to start off the 3:30 games. Then I'll say it like this: any other week, this would have been the game of the week. This is one of the rare times where this is not the game of the week. That just shows you how loaded this week is. That's why I'm calling this Smorgasbord Saturday here. And it's only fitting that MF gets to start it off, because MF, we're kicking off the 3:30 games in style. Red River Rivalry. Here we go. The number 1 Texas Longhorns squaring off against the number 18 Oklahoma Sooners from the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. In a game of this magnitude, there's only one announced crew that can handle it and should handle it. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Holly Rowe, they will be in Dallas for this one. And Texas opening up as a 14.5-point favorite. Okay, 14.5, that's a little high, but it is what it is. So, but nonetheless, MF, any other week, this would have been the game of the week, but this week it's the number 2 game. There's a game that's actually bigger than this. So, but nonetheless, MF, Red River Rivalry. It's only fitting you get to lead off.
And it is without a doubt the biggest rivalry in the game. And no doubt in my mind, it's going to be an amazing game. But here's the problem with this year's Red River. I feel like Texas is better and more stronger. And I think that's why a lot of people are kind of very nervous, especially Oklahoma fans, because of the fact that normally any other year is either be evenly matched or maybe Oklahoma gets a slight favorite going in. This time around, the reason why it's 14.5, Anthony, is because it's abundantly clear. Texas is better than Oklahoma this year. And it's not even close. Not in my mind. And I know I just probably angered all the Oklahoma fans. I know there's some OU fans that listen to to this show. So I'm pretty sure they're like, oh yeah, all right, Fletcher, keep talking. I want to hear this. This year, more than any other year, I kind of feel like Texas is on a mission. They want to be one of the Final Four teams. And the reason why I'm saying one of the Final Four is because they want that guaranteed New Year's bowl games where they don't have to play at home. They don't have to play in their own house or have to deal with any of that BS. I think they're so good that they're gonna be able to make it and make it without any issues. So for me, I feel like this is an easy call, and I'm gonna call it and say I got Texas winning and winning pretty comfortably. I'm saying I want to go somewhere in the neighborhood between 17 and 20 points. I could see this being like 35-17 or 35-20. But I got Texas winning Red River this year. So nothing more to say, Michael Bullock. It's yours.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people think this could be a really good game, but like Fletcher said, Texas is just stronger than Oklahoma. I mean, there's a reason why they could be one of the favorites to maybe win it all. So I think they have every reason to have it as 14 and a half. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go as far as to say I think they're going to win this by 3 touchdowns. That's how I see it. I think it's going to be a comfortable win for Texas. So it's yours, Florio.
Arch Manning did a nice job filling in, but Quinn Ewers is expected to return for Texas. As much as that storyline is the dominant one, however, the real story may be the other offense. Texas has limited all 5 opponents to 13 points or fewer, and Oklahoma is counting on freshman quarterback Michael Hawkins Jr. to handle that stingy unit. That's a tough ask. So I can see this possibly maybe being close into the 4th, but I think Texas will put it away late. So I too have Texas winning this game as well. My final score 29-17 Texas over Oklahoma in the latest installment of the Red River rivalry. We move on to our next 3:30 kickoff, and it features, here comes another one of the big games of the week, another one of the big ones here. The now number 4 Penn State Nittany Lions on the road against the USC Trojans from the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles. Big Ten on CBS. You know who's working this as always. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, and Jenny Dell. And believe it or not, Penn State opening up as only a 4-point favorite. It's a 4-point spread for Penn State. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, you lead off. Penn State now number 4. USC a week going into last week, they were ranked number 11, but then they stumbled at Minnesota and they got punished big time from 11 all the way to out. But if they somehow win this thing, they'll be right back in.
Yeah, they need this to basically get back in. I mean, to go from being number 11 to out, that's going to make this. It's going to make USC motivated, and I think because of that, I think it's going to be close to the end. But I think at the end of the day, I think Penn State will pull it out. So give me the Nittany Lions to win this one. Florio, I mean, I think Penn State should handle their business, but they're going to be facing a motivated USC team that's probably motivated especially after going from being number 11 to out.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. If the Trojans cut down on turnovers, in which they have had 8 in the last 3 games, they can hand Penn State its first loss. I'm still learning how much travel will affect Big Ten teams, but this is an ideal situation for a home underdog. And USC can attest to that after losing at Michigan and Minnesota. I'm not going to lie. I have had a very hard time with this game. I mean, my gut is telling me to go with Penn State, but for some odd reason, my heart is telling me to go with USC and call for the upset, especially with this game being at the Coliseum. I mean, if this game was in Happy Valley, I would have no problem going with Penn State. Absolutely none. But I don't know. Something about the Coliseum. I mean, I could see USC pulling off an upset here. I really could. I got Penn State on upset alert, and especially after all the upsets we saw last week, I believe there were like 6 of them last week. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another crazy week. So in order for that to happen, I could see SC bouncing back here. So I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to call for the upset. I'm going to say USC upsets Penn State. 24-20. USC upsets Penn State. But if Penn State were to steal this one, I would not at all be surprised. I would not. But I got to give a slight edge to USC. I mean, the Coliseum is not an easy place to win. It's not. So I'm going to give a slight edge to SC. But like I said, if Penn State were to win, I would not at all be surprised. I certainly would not. So give me the upset, baby. USC upsets Penn State 24-20. So, MF, the classic question, as we always do, who do you agree with? Do you agree with me in the upset, or do you agree with Bullock and Penn State?
Ooh, this one's tough, boys. I don't know. I mean, I think it can go either way. I just don't know if I can truly say without a shadow of a doubt that I can call for this upset here. It's gonna be interesting. I'll say that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a great game. I can see SC winning it though. I can. So I can't totally disagree with Anthony Florio and what he just said there. I just might do it. I just might say USC for the upset. But again, I'm not 1000% sure. Like, I could see it go both ways. Like, I can easily see Penn State win this one and win it going away. But I can also see SC pull the upset. So it's kind of it's a tough call to make. I'll say it like that. Nothing more to say. So
what are you saying, Fletch?
I want to say SC, but it's a head over heart. So I rather not. I'm not gonna say that. I'm basically in the middle. So I can't call lone wolf on this. There is really no lone wolf. So you can't do it, Bullock. I'm sorry.
So because you're in the middle, that's like your way of saying, sorry, Bullock, you can't.
Neither you or Florio are allowed to do the wolf call. Not on this one. This is kind of I'm on the fringe.
Well, I was just about to do it, but then as soon as you said that, I'm like, well, there it goes.
Yep. Sorry. Florio's yours.
So you're going with SC?
I can't really make a pick on that one, Anthony. It's a
rarity on our show. It's a rarity on our show. It's the literal
sense of the. For me, this is one of the rare times where I got to call pick 'em. I can't pick because it could go either way. If that makes sense.
That's almost like I think that was like a PTI move, back in our PTI days. I think we've had some instances of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the rarest of times that
I think this is like the first time in like. I think this has to be like the first time in like maybe 2 or 3 years where it's a virtual pick 'em that I can't make a pick on that game.
Fair enough. Who knows? You might have that again, and you might have that again a little bit later on. So we'll see. So, all right. So with that, we move on to our next 3:30 game, which features Well, it's not often we have something like this happen, but we have two teams at number 11, but they're not playing at the same time, though. But this is one of those two teams currently sitting at number 11. The co-number 11 Notre Dame Fighting Irish back at home at Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, and they're going to be hosting the Stanford Cardinal. Stanford coming into Notre Dame Stadium. It's of course Notre Dame on NBC, and Dan Hicks back in the booth. Paul Burmeister called the last game, but Dan Hicks had golf commitments, but Dan Hicks is back in the booth. It'll be Dan Hicks alongside of Jason Garrett and Zora Stevenson. And Notre Dame opening up as a 23.5-point favorite. And it's only fitting that I started off. It's my team, so let's do it. Notre Dame's offense has not been explosive enough to strike fear into opponents. The helpful part, though, is the defense can do exactly that, surrendering just 4.4 yards a play and 12.6 points a game. Bad matchup for Stanford, the ACC's worst offense, save for Florida State. Notre Dame should win this one comfortably. I will say 38-17. Notre Dame takes care of Stanford, and keeps their winning ways going. So, not much more to say. MF, Notre Dame tied at number 11. We'll get to the other number 11 in a little bit, but Notre Dame hosting Stanford.
Give me the Fighting Irish. I totally agree here. I think they're gonna absolutely do what they need to do, handle their business, win the game. There's not much for me to say on here. So yeah, give me Notre Dame to win and win this one going away. So Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it unanimous. I gotta go with Notre Dame as well. I think they should win this very comfortably. So nothing more to say. Let's move on to the next game.
Our next 3:30 kickoff, and back in the top 25 for the first time in a while. At number 22, it's the Pittsburgh Panthers. And the Pittsburgh Panthers will be hosting the California Golden Bears, Acrisure Stadium, formerly Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. You can find this game over on ESPN. Dave Fleming, along with Brock Osweiler. Dave Fleming, Brock Osweiler, and Sheree Burris, I believe. And Pittsburgh opening up as only a 3-point favorite. And I'm checking. It's actually tied for the smallest spread of the week. There's another team that's opening up as only a 3-point favorite. But Pitt opening up as a 3-point favorite. So MF, come on in here. Pittsburgh at number 22, opening up as a 3-point favorite against Cal. Pittsburgh winning at North Carolina, their first ever win at North Carolina. Whereas Cal, you had the U damn near dead to rights. Had them down 35-10 at one point before choking that away and allowing the U to steal one in your house, 39-38. So how on earth is Cal going to bounce back against a sneaky good Pittsburgh team in Pittsburgh nonetheless? So MF, what says you about all this? I mean, Pittsburgh back in the top 25. It's been a minute since they've been in the top 25. But Cal, like I said, Cal is going to be reeling after that, after letting that game against the U get away. I mean, had them down 35-10 and they lose 39-38 late last Saturday night. And absolutely stunning turn of events when it comes to that. So, all right. MF, if you're there, come on in, or if not, okay, there's MF. Okay.
So, yeah, I don't even know what to even say about that. I mean, I was shocked. I think we all were shocked.
Cal had the U dead to rights.
They did.
And now they got to go to Pittsburgh after all that. How in the world are they going to bounce back?
You're asking me that question. I wish I could give you a clear-cut answer. I don't. Um, but I will say this, man. This was a shocker. It shocked all of us how that played out. But it is what it is. And now here we are, and we're talking about. I mean, it's going to be an interesting game, no doubt about it. Um, I think it's gonna be something. I'll tell you that much. But I think it's gonna be a great game, no doubt about it in my mind. And yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean, as you said, I kind of feel like this is a big win, no doubt about it. And I gotta say, look, Cal let one get away, like you said. Pitt's back in it. I like Pittsburgh. Give me Pittsburgh to win it. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
What game are we talking about here?
California at number 22 Pittsburgh.
Yeah, with Fletch here. I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh to win this one. So it's yours, Florio.
In an earlier cross-country trip, Cal mustered 9 points in a loss to then winless Florida State. That's concerning enough, but especially so after such an emotion-filled collapse against Miami. Pitt can lock up bowl eligibility with a victory at home, and I think they're going to do just that. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I think Pittsburgh's going to win this one, though. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh to win 37-30, Pittsburgh over California. And we move on to our final 3:30 kickoff, and it features the now number 23 Illinois Fighting Illini at home against the Purdue Boilermakers from Memorial Stadium in Champaign, Illinois. 3:30 kickoff, and you can find this game over on FS1, Fox Sports 1. And on that call, it will be Eric Collins and Spencer Tillman. And Illinois opening up as a 21.5 point favorite. 21.5 point spread for Illinois. So, Michael Bullock, you lead off. Number 23, Illinois at home against Purdue as we close out our 3:30 games. Bullock, are you there?
Oh, I must have. I must have hit mute accidentally. I mean, but yeah, when it comes to this, I mean, I gotta go with Illinois to win this one. I mean, they are at home, and I think they should be able to handle their business with Purdue. So give me Illinois to win. It's yours, Florio.
Yes, sir. Since shutting out lower division Indiana State in the opener, Purdue has surpassed 10 points once in 4 games. That is not likely to improve much on the road opposite an Illinois defense, ceding 14.2 points a game. Give me Illinois to this one as well. I think they'll do it comfortably. 34-13, Illinois all over Purdue. Not much more to say. MF, your thoughts?
Illinois over Purdue. I don't think there's really not much for us to say on this one, guys. So let's just move on around along.
All right. The big ones are slowly coming, but we still have a couple more others to get through first. We have a 4:00 kickoff, and this game will be over on Fox, and it will feature the now number 14 BYU Cougars at home at Lavelle Edwards Stadium in Provo, Utah, and they're going to be welcoming the Arizona Wildcats. And believe it or not, you're not going to believe who's calling this game. It's Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, and the All-American girl Jenny Taft. How about that? Working a 4:00 game, not Big Noon Saturday, which is very surprising. But alas, here we are. And the spread favors BYU, but it's only 3.5. It's a 3.5 point spread for BYU. So with that, I'll start it off. The roller coaster is unrelenting. Arizona has already played good, great, bad, and awful games, and it's only week 7. Those week-to-week deviations push me towards BYU's high floor, low ceiling performances. So I'm going with BYU to win this game. It's going to be closer than you think, but I think BYU is going to win it. I'm going to say BYU wins 27-24. So not much more to say. MF, your thoughts as Arizona takes on number 14 BYU.
BYU, very tough game, very tough matchup. I'll go as far to say I'll go with BYU for the win as well. So yeah, I'll go BYU. Nothing more to say, and Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm going with BYU to win this one as well. So yeah, give me BYU. It's yours, Florio.
Okay, and we have a 4:15 kickoff, and you can find this game over on the SEC network. The number 5 Maiden Georgia Bulldogs once again at home at Sanford Stadium in Athens, in those legendary hedges, of course, and they got them and the Mississippi State Bulldogs coming in. So number 5 Georgia at home against Mississippi State. This game over on the SEC network. And on the call for that game will be Taylor Zarzar, Matt Stinchcomb, and Alyssa Lang. And Georgia, I believe they have the biggest spread of the week. Georgia opening up as a 33.5 point favorite. 33.5 for Georgia. So I believe MF starts this one off. So MF, made in Georgia, welcoming Mississippi State to those hedges on Saturday afternoon at 4:15. 33.5, biggest spread of the week.
Yeah, the thing is, a few weeks ago, Georgia got away with a big loss. They're still reeling off the big loss from Alabama, but I believe that this is going to be an easy call. Give me the Maine and Georgia Bulldogs to win this game, and there's really nothing more to add. So, Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Oh yeah, I mean it's going to be the Maine and Georgia Bulldogs all day on this one. So it's yours, Florio.
Against its 4 FBS opponents, Mississippi State has allowed at least 30 points. There is no logical reason to suggest the Bulldogs will break that trend and hang 30-something on Georgia's defense. So far, Alabama is the only one to crack 13 points on Georgia. Maine and Georgia all day long. 45-10, Georgia all over Mississippi State. One last order of business before we get to the big one, boys. As we go into our primetime games now. 7 o'clock kickoff, and we will have the now number 8 Tennessee Volunteers back at home at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, and they're going to be welcoming the Florida Gators. Oh, we know that history. And on the call for that game, and that game will be on ESPN, and on the call for that one will be Bob Wischusen, Lewis Riddick, and Chris Budden. And Tennessee opening up as a 14.5 point favorite. So, Michael Bullock, you lead off. Number 8, Tennessee, at home against Florida. Tennessee, another one of those upset victims last week after they had a tough luck loss at Arkansas last Saturday night, and they're looking to bounce back.
Yeah, they're really looking to bounce back after a tough loss last week, and I think this is the game where they bounce back. So give me the Tennessee Volunteers to win this one. So it is yours, Florio.
The noise around Florida coach Billy Napier's job security has quieted thanks to wins over Mississippi State and UCF. That simmering unrest is bound to reappear if the Gators find themselves on a skid, though, and this rivalry clash with Tennessee begins the gauntlet many have feared for Florida in 2024. Tennessee needs a resurgent game on offense, but is the clear favorite. I got Tennessee winning this one as well. It could be close in the fourth, but I think Tennessee will put it away late. I think Tennessee will win by 2 scores. I'm going to say 34-20. Tennessee bounces back and knocks off Florida on Saturday night, and they certainly need to. So, not much more to say. MF, Tennessee looking for a get right game after that. After they let one get away last week against Arkansas. MF, are you there?
Sure. Yeah, there's really nothing more for us to add here, Anthony. So it's your what's the game?
It's number 8.
Florida, Tennessee. Yeah. I gotta say, I gotta go with Tennessee. Look, Florida got exposed in the first game after they lost to when they lost to Miami.
Yes.
And now I kind of feel like this is the moment for them to get this one. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with Tennessee. Rocky Top to win this one. Floor is yours.
No, we're all in agreement on that one. It's definitely going to be Rocky Top there. You ready, boys? You ready? It's the big one. This is the one we've been chomping at the
I'm
bit
definitely
for.
ready.
This, you know what I got to do, of course. This next game right here, this is the main event. Brothers, it don't get no bigger than this. The game of the week as we get into our 7:30 kickoffs. Hell, both of these 7:30 games are great, but this one is the one that we're all talking about right here. A potential game of the century, if you really think about it. Big Ten, Saturday night on NBC. The number 2 Ohio State Buckeyes on the road against the number 3 Oregon Ducks, Autzen Stadium, Eugene, Oregon. Like I said, Big Ten Saturday night on NBC. And you know who's working this, of course. Noah Eagle, Todd Blackledge, Catherine Tappan. And the spread favors Ohio State, but it's only 3.5. It's a 3.5 only spread for
it's
Ohio
so big.
State.
College game day is going to be there.
College game day, Reese and the boys, Reese Davis, Desmond Howard, Kirk Herbstreit, Pat McAfee, Nick Saban. They will all be there in Eugene for college game day. That's how big this game is. You can make an argument this is a playoff preview. Perhaps this could be a championship game preview for all we know. But nonetheless, gentlemen, here we go. And it's only fitting I started off as the voice of the game. So here we go. Billed as the Big Ten's best regular season game, the showdown has matched the hype on paper. As expected, Ohio State has overwhelmed its competition to this point. Oregon, meanwhile, has been a bit unsatisfying, yet still a quality group. I mean, I would be okay if you like decided to throw a dart or toss a coin. There's a reasonable case for both teams, in all honesty. This is the game of the day and the game of the week, and it's certainly one of the most prominent matchups of the season to date. Both teams are 5-0 and are coming off notable wins, with Oregon beating Michigan State 31-10 last week and Ohio State smashing Iowa 35-7. The Buckeyes are 3.5-point road favorites here, but this is not going to be easy. A big question is if Ohio State quarterback Will Howard can continue his strong play to date. 1,248 passing yards, 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and a completion percentage of about 71.5%. Against an Oregon defense that has allowed only 263.4 yards a game to date, which is 10th in the FBS. Of course, Ohio State's defense has looked even better to date, allowing a nation-best 202.4 yards a game. We will see what Oregon coach Dan Lanning can scheme up against them. Out of all the games on the schedule this week, easily the toughest one, although Penn State and USC earlier proved how tough that game is. But I believe with this game being in Eugene, again, I got to go with the home field advantage here. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the last time these two teams played each other, I believe Oregon won that game. And I think it was in Ohio State as well.
It was. Yes.
So
Trust me. Eric Carrier did not let me forget about that victory there, Florio.
oh, of course.
He did not. He definitely did not.
And we certainly can't blame him. And I know this is the game that he's got circled right now. This is the what we would call the circle the calendar in blood red game right here. So, but then again, you boys will also have this game on in blood red when it comes to Ohio State and Michigan next month. But
yeah,
but nonetheless, toss of the it's almost like a coin toss flip here. I mean, this honestly can go either way. But because of the game being in Eugene and Eugene being a very tough place to win, I got to give a slight edge to Oregon. I'm actually going to go with Oregon to win this game. High scoring game, 31-27. Oregon knocks off Ohio State in what I believe will be a 5-star Shakespearean drama classic on Saturday night. So not much more to say. MF, like I said, this right here is the main event. Brother, it don't get no bigger than this. Number 2, Ohio State. Number 3, Oregon. Playoff feels all around.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. This is the biggest one of them all. This is going to be. You want to talk about a playoff worthy matchup? This is playoff worthy. This is what you want to see early in the year, and this is the battles. This is why a lot of people were amped to see these type of games happen. When it's all said and done, I think Oregon wins. I think they have enough to get through, and I think they'll have enough plays at the end that's going to give them that big signature win. Remember, earlier, or not too long ago, a few weeks ago, we saw a great matchup between USC and Michigan. This will be just as good, just as competitive, maybe even closer than that game. To me, 27-23, Oregon knocks off Ohio State. Bullock, it's yours.
Like you said, this is going to have the feeling of a playoff game. I mean, and who knows, maybe there's a chance we could see these two face off in the college football playoff. Yeah, but this is going to be a game that's going to determine where these teams are going to go as the season goes on. And yeah, for Oregon wants to prove why they're worthy of being in this top 5, while Ohio State wants to prove why it's going to be their time. So, look, if this game was in Ohio State, I'd go with the Buckeyes. But I'm with these guys here. That Autzen Stadium crowd's going to be going nuts. That Oregon's going to feed off of it. And I think they will beat the Ohio State Buckeyes. So give me the Oregon Ducks to win. It's yours, Florio.
And we move on to the other 7:30 game, just as big. Another one of our games of the week. The now number 9 Ole Miss Rebels on the road against the number 13 LSU Tigers. Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge. You can find this game as the ABC Saturday night game of the week. Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy, and Molly McGrath will have it. And Ole Miss opening up as only a 3-point favorite. This is the other 3-point favorite spread here. So it's a 3-point spread, which is tied for the smallest spread of the week. It's 3 points in favor of Ole Miss. So, MF, we started with you. Number 9, Ole Miss at number 13, LSU. Ole Miss by 3. Another one of our big games of the week, y'all, as part of this Smorgasbord Saturday. MF, are you there?
Forgot to unmute my mic. So Ole Miss versus
LSU.
LSU. Oh boy.
Number 9 Ole Miss versus number 13 LSU, Tiger Stadium, Baton Rouge. Ole Miss opening up as only a 3-point favorite.
Yeah. I'll say this. This is gonna be a good fight, good battle. I think Ole Miss comes close. I think Ole Miss wins it, and I think it's gonna be down to the wire. So nothing more to say. So give me Ole Miss to win it, and Florio and Bullock, it's yours.
Oh man, this is a tough one for me to call here. I mean, this is one that can go either way as well. I mean, oh man, this should be. Oh man, it's tough. I mean, part of me wants to go with Ole Miss, but look, LSU, they are playing at home, and you know that they're going to feed off of it. So I can't believe what I'm about to do here, but I'm going to call for the upset. I'm going to go with LSU to upset Ole Miss. I mean, look, if this was an Ole Miss, I would go with the Rebels, but I think LSU is going to feed off the crowd, and they're gonna pull off the upset. So I'm going to do it. LSU wins. So Florio, the ultimate question: who do you go with?
Well, given that LSU has yielded 7.2 yards per pass attempt in 4 matchups with FBS opponents, Ole Miss should be able to throw effectively. Plus, the Rebels are 3rd nationally at 3.8 yards allowed per snap. The numbers favor Ole Miss, even as LSU's home field advantage is reason for pause. So I'm actually going to go with MF on this one, and I'm going to say Ole Miss steals one at LSU 29-26, but I would not at all be surprised if LSU were to steal this one. I would not, because this is another tough one. That's how loaded this is. This is Smorgasbord Saturday after all. So I'm going to take a chance on Ole Miss, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Hey, 29-26, Michael Bullock, I know you're chomping at the bitch. Just get it out of your system.
Yep, and because I'm the only one who went with him. You know what this means? And Fletch, I know you've been waiting for this too. I'm lone wolfing it. Ow!
There you go.
Yeah,
right.
buddy.
Yeah, buddy. 29-26, Ole Miss wins. All right. We move on to we have 3 games left. Next up, a rare 8 o'clock kickoff. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff, and this game will be over on Fox, featuring the number 11 Iowa State Cyclones. Well, the other number 11 team, I should say, because remember, Notre Dame is one number 11. The other number 11 is the Iowa State Cyclones. So, and they're going to be squaring off against the West Virginia Mountaineers. Mountaineer Field at Milan Puskar Stadium in Morgantown, West Virginia. And on the call for this game will be Tim Brando, along with Devin Gardner. And Iowa State opening up as only another 3-point favorite. It's another 3-point spread. This one in favor of Iowa State. Gut says Iowa State, a growing college football playoff threat with an excellent defense. Heart says West Virginia, which is home for this Big 12 matchup. And remember, last week, we saw a weekend full of road problems for ranked teams. West Virginia's offense has turned red zone opportunities into touchdowns at a high rate lately, and that must continue to spring an upset. And you know what? I'm actually going to call for the upset again. I'm going with West Virginia to upset Iowa State. 28-23, West Virginia upsets Iowa State, but I would not at all be surprised if Iowa State were to steal it. So not much more to say. MF, how do you follow that?
Anthony Flyer, may I ask you a personal question?
Of course you can.
Have you been drinking the Kool-Aid of Pat McAfee a little too hard there, bro?
You know I'm
Because
straight.
you know what university he's from, right?
He is from West Virginia, and yes, I know what it does to animals, but I don't partake.
Okay. Because I'm wondering if that's why you went with that question. Because something tells me that's why you went with the upset. Like, I'll give you credit, a lot of respect, but I kind of feel like that might be. I just wanted it to see where you were coming from. That's why I asked you that question. Because as much as I would love to see the upset, I don't know if it's gonna. It's gonna be close, but I'll tell you this. Here's the game. It's it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be wicked close more than anything else. So let's see how it goes. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be West Virginia. I think they're gonna pull the upset. Nothing more to say. So, Michael Bullock is yours.
So you went with West Virginia as well, right?
I did.
Well, guess what, boys? I'm making it unanimous. I'm calling for the upset as well. It's a rarity that we all three of us go with the upset, but I'm gonna pull it off as well. Give me West Virginia. It's yours, Florio.
All right, 2 games left. This next one here is the sleeper game of the week right here. Now, remember, earlier on, I talked about how we had 2 teams ranked at number 11. This has got to be a rarity when it comes to the AP poll. Not 1, not 2, but 3 teams. They ranked 3 different teams at number 18. One of them is on bye this week, and that is the Indiana Hoosiers. We talked about earlier the Oklahoma Sooners, of course, the Red River rivalry against number 1 Texas. The third and final number 18 is the Kansas State Wildcats, and they have a very tough opponent coming up. They got to go to Boulder, Colorado to take on Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes from Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado. Mark Jones and Roddy Jones will be on the call. Kansas State opening up as a 3.5-point favorite. And if I am not mistaken, I believe
Fletch leads off.
Who does? MF?
Yeah, I think he does.
All right. Yeah, I think I started the last one, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
You sure did.
Okay, so it goes to MF then. All right, MF. Oh. Trap game. Kansas State at Colorado, Coach Prime and company. Woo. Sleeper game of the week for sure.
Yeah, but the thing is, they haven't been playing so good, and I get it. Could it be an upset? Could we get one of those type of games? Possibly, but I don't know what we're gonna get. How that's gonna play out, how that's gonna look. I'm gonna go with Kansas State to win. But like you said, that can go a number of different ways. But we'll see. But I got Kansas State winning, so Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kansas State to win this one as well. I mean, but yeah, I mean it could be close, so we'll see what happens. So it's yours, Florio.
Have the Wildcats learned their lesson? 3 weeks ago, they traveled to BYU for a late night kickoff and got smashed by BYU 38-9. Kansas State is a better team than Colorado, period. That doesn't always translate to a win, however, and the Buffaloes have the best player on the field in Travis Hunter. But for now, I will stick with Kansas State, but Colorado absolutely positively can steal this one. Kansas State ekes it out. They'll steal one in Boulder. 31-27, K-State barely, and I mean barely, gets by Colorado in what is, without a doubt, the sleeper game of the week. 1 game left. We have an 11 o'clock kickoff, and this game can be found over on the CBS Sports Network. The number 17 Boise State Broncos on the road against the the Rainbow Warriors of Hawaii. Wow. I mean, we had UMass on the show, and now we're talking about Hawaii. Wow. Okay. But it's the number 17 Boise State Broncos on the road against the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors from the Clarence T.C. Ching Athletics Complex in Hawaii. I believe that's the old Aloha Stadium where the Pro Bowl used to be in the NFL, as we all know. And you can find this game over on the CBS Sports Network. Rich Waltz and Robert Turbin will have the call. And Boise State opening up as a 20.5-point favorite. Michael Bullock, you lead off on our final game of the week. Number 17, Boise State on the road at Hawaii. 11 o'clock kickoff on CBS Sports Network.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with the Boise State to win. I think they should be able to handle their business with Hawaii. So give me Boise State to win. It's yours, Florio.
Through 5 games, Hawaii has done an admirable job stopping the run, even excluding sacks. Sam Houston is the lone opponent to surpass 125 yards or 2 touchdowns on the ground. I'll believe a defense can contain Boise State running back Ashton Gianti when I see it, though. I think remember that name, friends. Ashton Gianti. This kid is so good. He should be in the Heisman Trophy conversation. He's had some huge games for this group already. He's over 1,000 yards, and I think he's already got double-digit touchdowns too. So until I can see somebody contain this young man, I got to go with Boise. Boise State wins this one. Final score 42-28. Boise State wins over Hawaii on Saturday night. So nothing more to say except take us home, MF.
Yeah, and there's not much more to say. I'm in total agreement. Give me Boise State as well. I think they'll win it. And Anthony, let's pack it up.
All right. And with that will put the bow on this Week 7 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We'll be back with you again tomorrow night, 10:30, right back here on the Tone 25 for the Week 6 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. And we will have a recap of the Thursday night football game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. We'll give you our brief thoughts about that game. And then we'll get into the remaining games of week number 6, including the headline game of the week, the Washington Commanders and the Baltimore Ravens. Is that going to be fun? We'll get into all that tomorrow. Now, MF, are we having a show on Saturday, or are we moving that thing to Sunday, or what are we doing? Because we are
moving it to Sunday night. I needed it to think about it. Sunday night, 10 p.m., 10:30 p.m., Cerebral Smack Talk, SmackDown Live, Wrestle Dream, recap, and that is it.
Okay, so you heard it. So no show on Saturday. We will then be back with you on Sunday night at 10:30 over on MF's channel, Brace Fan 95, for the Cerebral Smack Talk, Friday Night SmackDown, and the AEW Wrestle Dream pay-per-view. And then Monday night, we do it all again, 10:30, right back here on the Tone 25, Ridiculously Raw, Monday Night Raw, and of course, my full Tony's Take will be back. TNA Impact is back, as well as NXT Level Up. And then Wednesday Night Madness, we got NXT, we got AEW Dynamite, and we also have our Thursday Night Football game for next week, the Denver Broncos squaring off against the New Orleans Saints from the Superdome in New Orleans. Sean Payton returns to New Orleans as a visiting coach. You know there's going to be a lot of emotion in that one. And then 1 week from tonight, the Week 8 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. And, well, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, actually, hold on. I do see a few clunkers in here, but we actually do have some good games on tap next week. Oklahoma State against BYU, Virginia against Clemson, Nebraska against Indiana, Miami against Louisville, South Carolina and Oklahoma, Notre Dame and Georgia Tech, and we have three big ranked matchups. We got Michigan squaring off against Illinois, but gentlemen, the SEC, we got a double main event from the SEC. How about number 7 Alabama on the road against number 8 Tennessee? Bama, Tennessee. We remember what happened 2 years ago now, don't we? Bama and Tennessee, but it gets even bigger than that. You're like, what game could be bigger than Bama and Tennessee? How about Georgia and Texas next Saturday night? Woohoo! Number 5 Georgia, number 1 Texas. In Texas, we got another maybe not overly exciting, but we do have several. We do have those 2 big main events from the SEC: Bama and Tennessee, Georgia and Texas. Cinema both ways. That's all I'm saying. So we'll get into that next week. So with that, I'll put the bow on this. So until tomorrow night for the Week 6 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. This is Anthony Florio here for Good Old MF Michael Fletcher, for Michael Bullock, and of course, always and forever in spirit, the one and only Twisted Angel D.D. Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. The Word of Fortune Forest style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday. And until tomorrow night, for the Week 6 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, you've been watching the Week 7 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday, right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and Streamy.com. And for everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.